as we see, Ahmad Abdin coming up next. And Marcellus Brown will be his opponent. Marcellus Brown coming in about 6'7", maybe, I don't know, as far as rejoined here by Bob Spagnola, one of the tallest fighters in the sport today.
Yeah, one of the most tallest active heavyweights.
Our next bout of the afternoon, 8 rounds of boxing in the heavyweight division. Your judges at ringside are Burt Clements, Keith McDonald, and Doug Tucker, and your third man in the ring, Mr. Vic Draculage, our referee. Fighting out of the blue corner from Houston, Texas, wearing black and gold trunks, this fighter is undefeated as a professional with 12-0-2, 5 by way of KO. Ladies and gentlemen, Ahmad Abdin. His opponent, fighting out of the red corner, has a record of 14-4 with 13 by way of KO. He is wearing baby blue and gold trunks and is from Benton Harbor, Michigan. Ladies and gentlemen, Marcellus Brown. Your referee, Vic Draculage, with the instructions.
Gentlemen. All right, gentlemen, you received your instruction in the dressing room. At this time, are there any questions? Any question from Chief Seconds? All right, remember, obey my commands, protect yourselves at all times. Touch gloves now, let's get to it.
Scheduled 8-rounder, Brown and Abdin. Abdin undefeated, 12-0 with 5 knockouts. Marcellus Brown coming off a second-round TKO at the hands of the former WBC heavyweight champ Trevor Berbick. Marcellus Brown is a guy who fights very exciting. He makes something happen very early in the fight.
No, hey, listen, Brown, he's got an excellent left jab, and he's got a big right hand behind it, and Abdin's got to be very aware of that early in this fight. He's a leverage puncher, and he will get the job done.
He has leverage on just about everybody he fights. A really terrific specimen coming in, as we said, 6'7", 6'8", in terrific condition, but does like to make things happen early in the fight. And Abdin going to the body, and there's a lot of body there to go to.
Yeah, he's got that long, lean body, and Abdin is a good body puncher.
Round number 1 scheduled for 8. Heavyweight explosion continues as we see Brown using that beautiful leverage on his punches. He likes to punch down on people and really has no choice.
Yeah, he's a very good offensive fighter, Brown. He's been hurt sometimes himself. Got a little bit of a suspect chin, but he's rolled over a lot of fighters. He's got real good power.
Abdin being patient, age 21, at 12-5 by way of Syria. Going to the body, likes to go to the body.
Real good body puncher. Started off as a 140-pound fighter, and he's working his way to 240.
Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, he's grown into it, you know, obviously, as you can see, Abdin's people want him to move his head and not leave a target for the big
shots. Vic Draculage is your referee and attorney in nearby Reno, Nevada. Been doing this for 9 years. Marcellus Brown, at least from my record books, would probably be the tallest professional fighter going today. If Mike White is still in operation, which I don't think he is, he was formerly the tallest at 6'10", 6'11".
Brown there working at Abdin's head a little bit, which is another thing he's got down quite well.
Ahmad Abdin.
That's what Abdin's got to do. He's got to get inside and do his work.
Round number 1 scheduled for 8 heavyweights. Heavyweight explosion, some explosive heavyweight activity today. Brown trying to hit down on Abdin, now coming in with the uppercut. Good action here. Vic Draculage coming in and admonishing Brown for holding behind the head.
Brown having a real good end of this round here. Abdin
going to the body,
getting his shots off.
Coming to close a round number 1 from Caesars Tahoe in Nevada. Marcellus Brown and Ahmad Abdin. Heavyweights. Abdin coming in, as we said, 12-0, 5 knockouts. As we look at Marcellus Brown's corner.
Ladies and gentlemen, the second round. Let's hear it for. This is Erica.
Marcellus Brown, as we said, does not go deep into many of his fights. Many have not gone past the second or third round. A lot of times he wins, a lot of times he goes down. He's not known for the sturdiest of chins, Bob.
No, he isn't, but he looks in real good shape here. Here's Brown getting off some good work early in this round. He's got a great assortment of punches there. Jab, right hands, uppercuts.
Brown's never been by the sixth round. As a matter of fact, most of his fights have ended in the first or second round. And he's been at the winning and losing side of both of them. By way of Benton Harbor, Michigan. Round number 2 underway. Marcellus Brown, Ahmad Abdin. Marcellus Brown rolling in at a very impressive.
Marcellus forgot his mouthpiece at the end of that round. So
Apologize.
called time himself.
14-4, 25 years of age is Marcellus Brown.
I saw him in the National Golden Gloves in Knoxville, Tennessee some years ago. He knocked out 5 guys on his way to the finals. Good leverage puncher, but this is where Abdin's got to do his work in there.
3 of his 4 losses have been by way of knockout. He did lose 1 decision. Abdin coming in with 5 knockouts and 2 draws.
Come on in. Let's go. Come on.
Most recently winning a 6-round draw with Obeth Sullivan down in Texas on October 13th.
Get out there.
Yeah, a good action bout, Abdin and Obed Sullivan. Abdin's got to get down on that body. That's what he wants to do. And Brown's already starting to hold here in the second round.
Come on, Marcel, let's go. Okay, come in.
Very dangerous fighter, Marcellus Brown. He's sitting here trying to
Figure it out when he can get his big
what
shots.
Abdin's got to do is work underneath, right down in there. That's got to be his office in this fight.
Tough. You seldom not only see a fighter like this in competition, but it's impossible to find a sparring partner like a Marcellus Brown. 6'8".
But Abdin was up here for 3 weeks with Lou Savarese, who's not quite as tall as Brown, but also about 6'5".
Working with him.
That's right, now he's got to get his off. Brown works from the outside, Abdin from the inside.
Ahmad trying to pressure the taller length, going for the body, going for some body shots, and Brown is ever so slightly dropping the hands just a little bit.
Throws down bit by bit, generally Brown does in his fights that we've seen.
Good combination by Brown. Not entirely sure that
Vic missed the punch. He got hurt, and Vic's calling it a slip. Vic missed that call there. Brown is hurt badly right here. Brown is hurt badly.
Abdin coming in. Abdin going to put the pressure on him. Brown is holding on here.
That was a missed call there. As you could see, Marcellus Brown was even thinking about whether or not he was going to get up. He was badly hurt.
Round 2 coming to a close. Brown and Abdin. Action-packed last 30 seconds. So Brown goes down. Vic Draculage, a very respected and very, very good referee, missed it. But Brown was definitely hurt there toward the end of round number 2, and you can see him kind of looking around right now, as you see him putting
Also got his arms up on the ropes where they're not supposed to be. Abdin in the other corner got his right in the lap. Right hand to the top of the head there hurt him, and down he goes.
Looks like they do get tangled up with their legs.
Yeah,
though.
they were tangled up, but you can see that right hand there hit him on the temple.
Looks like kind of like on the top of the head. And, down went Marcellus Brown. Up he got, though, before the end of the round. Round 3 scheduled for 4-8. Big right hand by Abdin. Really forcing his way with that right hand. And Marcellus Brown, much like he did toward the end of round number 2, holding on.
Yeah, I think Vic Jakulowicz will get involved in that a little bit now here shortly. He's not going to let Brown get away with a lot more of that.
Abdin trying to pressure. Only 21 years of age is Ahmad.
Just a baby.
Just a baby. No losses with 2 draws. He celebrated his birthday. He'll be 22 in about 2 weeks from this weekend. Pressure, pressure. See, Marcellus Brown has really slowed down his offensive output, and he looks to be holding and leaning a lot more than he was in the first couple of rounds.
If he can recover himself, he'll be right there. He's trying to measure Abdin a little bit with that long jab.
As we said, we are at about 6,000 feet altitude, and the deeper these fights get, the harder it is for the gentlemen who do not get here long enough. And Abdin's been here about 2 weeks, and Brown rolling in about midweek. So the acclimation to these conditions can be very important, especially Marcellus Brown holding on.
Yeah, Brown holding. Wouldn't be surprised if Vic Jakulowicz got involved in that a little bit.
And he's trying to. Abdin putting pressure on. Brown's leverage has certainly not been a factor the past couple rounds.
No, he's very dangerous early, but you know, the guy's got a punch like that, but those body shots by Abdin, although you see a nice body shot by Brown himself.
Nice hook by
Brown to the body. He gets good leverage up and down.
Abdin on the attack. Brown has really slowed down his attack as far as even trying to keep Abdin at the end of his jab.
Brown's satisfied to be rested in there and taking big gulps of air. Abdin's got to step it up here.
Inside 30 seconds ago in round number 3, scheduled for 8, heavyweight explosion from Caesars Tahoe.
Good body work by Abdin in here. You can hear those shots all the way at ringside.
Round number 3 comes to a close. Marcellus Brown, Ahmad Abdin wrap up third 3-minute round, and one of which has been the history for Marcellus Brown. Quick starter and lose a little gas as we go along here. The pace of the fight has really slowed dramatically.
It has, and you know, and both fighters aren't complaining about that because it started with a real good pace early, and these are young heavyweights.
We've seen some tremendous heavyweight action thus far. Lou Savary scoring a 5th round knockout over Kenny Merritt, explosive knockout, as well as Buster Mathis Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, round
Excellent performance by Buster Mathis as we see Abdin chasing Brown around the ring.
You say that that's as good as you've seen Buster Mathis fight?
Well, I mean, I think it's the best offensive performance we've seen of him to get his opponent on the canvas several times like he did. Excellent performance.
We head into round number 4. Young heavyweights, 25-year-old Marcellus Brown, 21-year-old Ahmad Abdin in the black trunks with the gold trim. Marcellus Brown, from our research, probably the tallest professional boxer in the sport today. And use that leverage early to land some good shots, but the past couple rounds he seems to be sucking a little air and not being as offensive-minded as he has. Draculich is trying to keep the action going here, as it's gotten to be kind of a wrestling match the past couple rounds.
Yeah, he's going to have to warn Brown here for holding, because he's just pretty much holding with reckless abandon here, and I think Vic sees that. But
Ahmad Abdin keeping the hands up, trying to get inside, trying to go to the body and then come upstairs. Yeah,
Good
Marcellus,
work on the inside by Muhammad Abdin,
When he
but
can.
he's being held, and
boy. Yeah, it could be time for Draculich to make a
he's
note
got
of it.
He's got to do something here because you know, I mean, the fans are getting to see a real fight here, and Vic warned him there audibly, and if he keeps it up, I'm quite sure that he'll get in there and try to force this guy to fight a little bit and wrestle a little bit less.
We're wrestling with Marcellus Brown and Ahmad Abdin. Going to the body is Abdin. Big uppercut, nice uppercut.
That's what he's got to do, mix up his punches. He can't just...
I think he's been waiting for that uppercut for a couple rounds because they've been in these clinches. If he can get his gloves loose.
People love heavyweights, but you know, sometimes you get a lot of wrestling going on here. As you see, Brown's bleeding quite a bit from his nose right now. Abdin's waiting a little bit too much, and there he finally lands a good shot on Brown, and Brown holding again, and
Brown almost showing physical pain right now in his face. Trying to get a little dance to the legs here.
Brown trying to revitalize himself a little bit here, but
big shots by Abdin coming in, body shots, chest shots.
Nice work by Muhammad Abdin, a tall, awkward opponent that's a dangerous puncher.
You don't see these kind of office. And the jab is you know,
what he needs to do is he needs to follow that lazy jab with a nice right hand, and he'd put Marcellus Brown out in this fight.
Halfway through the round. Going to check out some of the corner talk. Corner talk.
Keep your hands in your lap. Breathe. You got the inhale. Another one. You're working good. You're working good.
We got Albert Bolden in there, and Isham Abdin working with his nephew. They're happy with what they see right now in this fight. He's in with a tough opponent. Brown is a very dangerous fighter, and he sure can get your attention. What they want him to do is, when Brown throws that lazy jab, they want him to counter right over the top of it with the big right hand. They feel like they can end the fight. Brown in the other corner, his nose is being tended to. Not much talk going on, but
he's sucking some heavy air too. We head into the second half of this scheduled 8-rounder. Marcellus Brown and Ahmad Abdin, Hugh Millay and Bob Spagnola ringside for a heavyweight explosion at Caesars Tahoe. And this fight has kind of changed the ebb and flow early. It looked like Marcellus Brown looked like a world beater, but the past couple rounds has been the gentleman on the attack right there. Ahmad Abdin doing some good damage, and Brown trying to get something going in his own mind, I think, throwing a lot of punches. Certainly gets something for style points.
Yep. Brown using a lot of energy there early in this round. Let's see what he'll have in the second half of it.
And the mouth kind of gaping open there a little bit.
That's where Abdin needs to do what he does best, work downstairs with that body.
Pressure.
Brown trying to get down there in the pocket.
Abdin came, I think, with a mission here to work to the body, and he's done that pretty well. Just wearing down a 6'8" Marcellus Brown.
He's not getting his hands busy in there. He's getting kind of frustrated that he's getting his head underneath Brown's armpit. But hey, listen, everybody that fights Marcellus Brown gets that. And there's a good combination by Abdin.
Abdin going on the attack upstairs now, forgoing the body attack and just going for headshots.
He's getting a little overzealous there, left himself open for a counter shot by Brown, but Brown didn't pull the trigger. Brown bleeding badly from the nose here.
Marcellus Brown, 14-4, 3 of those losses by way of knockout, and he has only been by the 6th round one time. We're in round number 5 right now.
That looping right hand by Abdin got Brown's attention there. But he's got to keep his head up, Abdin. He's limited in his own effectiveness because he's going in with his head down, and That's the only excuse Marcellus Brown needs to wrap him up.
Inside 45 seconds to go in round number 5. Ahmad Abdin, Marcellus Brown going at it. And certainly not a picture postcard boxing match here, but Abdin is just keeping the pressure on. And Brown's trying to get something going with that jab, but it hasn't been too effective since about round number 2.
Brown using the referee very well in this fight, which is good. You gotta, hey, listen, you gotta do, if a referee's gonna let you do certain things and you think you can get away with them, you gotta do it. You gotta take everything you can get.
Round number 5 comes to a close from Caesars Tahoe.
Come on. Okay.
An uneventful round on both sides of the ledger. And if you're scoring along with us at home, Bob Spagnola has Abdin winning every round, or 10?
Well, no, the first round I gave to Brown, but Abdin's been
just keeping the pressure on.
Took charge on the second round there, even though they didn't call it a knockdown. He had Brown hurt, and I think he's been in charge ever since.
Okay, let's hear it for him. This is Sydney, everybody.
Best flurry of round number 5 was Abdin early in round number 5 with foregoing the body work and just going for the headshots.
And there was a good right hand and good 4-punch combination by Abdin later in the round, but Brown has kind of reduced himself to just survival now. He's not really getting, although he started that round, moved around a little bit, you could see that it was nothing he was going to carry on for the rest of the fight, or even the rest of the round for that matter.
Round number 6, and Marcellus Brown, has he forgotten his mouthpiece again?
Somebody's forgotten it.
Boy, they should tie a little ribbon on his finger or something, I don't know. Twice he's done that. Comes out again, trying to establish a very, very long jab, we might add. As a matter of fact, it might be the longest jab in boxing right now. It's
no doubt about who's got the reach advantage here.
90-inch reach. It's not even the same area code for some people. 90-inch reach for Marcellus Brown. Ahmad Abdin's done a nice job of keeping the pressure on and just muscling Brown. Brown, mouth open a lot of saliva just kind of slopping out. Always dangerous when you got that mouth open. Sets up for you for the old broken jaw.
Brown trying to give him the look away there, and Abdin answers with the left hook.
Inside a minute and 50 to go in round number 6. Marcellus Brown holding on again. Vic Draculage, as your referee, has stepped in a number of times and has warned Brown for the holding on a la right now. He's yet to deduct a point, though. And I guess it's always kind of a judgment call when you do it, but he certainly deserves it from this vantage point.
Yeah, well, he's using, everything that he can. Although he got out, he's kind of fiending offense by, sitting there and lowering his shoulder and looking like he's going to drop the right hand. But he's not pulling the trigger near as much as he did early in the fight. There he's tried an uppercut, but Abdin's not. He's being pretty economical with his punches too. Like I said, I think he's allowed himself to get a little frustrated at the holding of Brown, and he knows he's not holding, but it really doesn't matter. You got to go out there and do whatever you can do to get there. It's good body work. 3-punch combination by him. Got Brown backing up and holding again. He's just got to move his hands in there and make the best of a bad situation, and maybe the referee will get a little bit more involved. And maybe
Abdin
not.
on the attack, but once again, the Brown covering up with the elbows and now holding on again. Vic Draculage, that might have been the last warning that we'll see, and the next time probably a point deduction.
Yeah, Vic was a little upset because Brown's also starting to talk and tell him what he should be doing here or whatever.
Nice uppercut coming in, and
there goes the mouthpiece of Marcellus Brown.
Brown's mouthpiece is history.
Nice work here to end this round by Ahmad Abdin. Hands up, they better be up because this guy is nothing to be trifled with.
Brown holding on again, has been the case. They did. Vic Draculage to stop the clock. Last 7 or 8 seconds in round number 6. Finally getting the mouthpiece reinserted. Well, the mouthpiece didn't help Marcellus Brown at all. Sometimes that is kind of a, I guess, a breath-catching thing that you can do.
But he's used about everything from leaving his mouthpiece in the corner to spitting it out to holding. But at the same time, he's you know, he's still a dangerous puncher. He doesn't obviously have what he had early in the fight, but you can't trifle with a guy like this because he is a one-punch knockout puncher. And if that Dean gets tired,
action round number 6.
Them working. There are some of his best combination. Uppercut by Brown on the way in. He gets hit with an overhand right hand. Right, and a couple body shots by Abdin. Definitely doing most of the work here.
Marcellus Brown has never been past the 6th round in his career, so this is a new territory for the long, lanky one from Benton Harbor, Michigan.
Uncharted territory.
We head into round number 7.
Brown misses a big left hook starting out the round. Abdin got under it.
Brown has started every round quickly, just like he started the fight quickly, but it really hasn't made too much difference because about 30 seconds in, he's already back to his holding tactics.
Yeah, he fades. He gets that rest in between rounds. And
that's just a conditioning thing, Bob. I mean, just simply conditioning. I know the altitude thing we talked about, but this has been a consistent problem with what was a very good prospect when he started out.
Right. Well, I mean, I think it's conditioning, and at the same time, you know, durability. He hasn't, you know, shown a real good chin in some of his fights. And you know, I mean, it's an old axiom in boxing. You know, you guys, some of them, you know, I mean, obviously he's a very good puncher himself, but he doesn't catch all that well. It's a guy that's a real good body puncher. Oftentimes doesn't like it to the body himself. And here he's starting off real good in this round, Brown. But at the same time, got hit with a left hook by Abdin.
And killed the spirit at the 2-minute mark
because
of
you get,
round
you
number
know,
7.
your corner gets you worked up in between rounds, and you go out and you've got fresh desire and vigor or anything, but all it takes is a good body shot, or, you know, or to start sucking some air yourself, and you start realizing, geez, you know, I'm as tired as I was at the end of the last round.
The psychological battle that the fighters have as well as the physical. Abdin just missing with a kind of a wild hook, but it's there with about another inch or 2.
Yeah, I mean, it is good for Abdin because even though Brown starts out these rounds well, Abdin finishes him well, and that's the thing that the judges look at. You always want to have a strong finish to the round, and Brown just hasn't really had that since the first round of this fighting.
Abdin going to those ribs, and Brown holding on. Vic Draculich stepping in for the upteenth time, and he still does not turn to the judges and take away a point.
There you go.
Good body work
working
by
in there, bending at the knees. But he's frustrated because he feels like the referee might, you know, want to say something here. But Vic's decided that he's going to let it go. And
well, we've all seen fighters who are.
Oh, and there goes the mouthpiece again of
big
Brown.
Shots by Abdin.
Left hook by Abdin. Got a little bit of holding going on here.
Inside 40 seconds, round number 7, Abdin with a nice combination. Now Brown holding on again. Vic Draculich, your referee, and pulling them apart. About the 6th or 8th time, he'll call time right now. And Brown, with the mouth agape, will now go get his mouthpiece reinserted for the 3rd time. Twice he's forgotten it, 4th time. Twice he's forgotten it to start rounds, and this is the 2nd time in 2 rounds that he has had it knocked out. And that is certainly a sure sign of fatigue.
No, it really is, and it's very dangerous too, because you get hit with that mouth agape like that, you can really get hurt, especially by these big guys.
Abdin pressuring, Vic Draculich trying to keep the holding from happening, but not too successful. End of round number 7. Well, Ahmad Abdin coming on with a combination toward the end of round number 7, but at least from our vantage point, it's a pretty clear-cut decision. Not victory yet, but certainly has a well ahead on all the scorecards.
Yeah, well, he's done most of the work, and as we said, you know, he's finished these rounds. Brown started them. He's finished them with an exclamation point, and that's what leaves a mark in the judge's mind.
Don't get killed, okay?
Nice left hook by Abdin here with Brown's boom right there. There goes the mouthpiece. that hurt him well. But Brown's taken these punches quite well in this fight, and he's only been down that one time in the second round, which didn't end up being called. But he showed, you know, that he can go 8 rounds, 6, 10, 8 rounds.
The 8th and final round, they touch gloves at center ring. Marcellus Brown, after a very quick start to this fight, is pretty much faded. And Ahmad Abdin has just stayed busy enough with some nice body shots and some busy inside work. Brown trying to go out with a flurry, but this is almost like a replay of the previous 6 or 7 rounds. Start quick and then hold on for dear life.
Yeah, and he doesn't have the physical strength to wrestle with Abdin on the inside. He's certainly got the strength as a leverage puncher. You look across his back, but in the midriff, he's weak. And
Ahmad Abdin coming in today at 229. You say he started as a middleweight?
Well, as an amateur, he was a 140-pounder when he started, but and he won the Texas Golden Gloves as a welterweight and a middleweight.
Wow.
And a light heavyweight. But now he's a full-fledged heavyweight, and I don't think he'll ever be back down any of those again.
No, I think you're right about that. Marcellus Brown coming in today at 6'8", 6'9", with a weight of 221, but that is very thinly positioned across a very long frame. 90-inch reach. What an amazing stat that is.
Abdin still with good spring in his legs. He wants to finish this fight well and show everybody, hey, I've gone a good solid 8 rounds, and I might be able to go 10 in my next fight.
He's only been 8 rounds once in his previous career. That was against Matt Brooks back in July 2nd of this year. So Abdin really going into some not totally new water, but
he's nice and fresh here, though. He's bouncing
working
around
hard
in there and wants, you know, in the middle of the fight, he seemed like he was resting a little bit too, but he wants to put an exclamation point on this and look good. And the fact that he spent 3 weeks up here at Lake Tahoe, he wants to make it all worthwhile.
You say a minute 10 to go in round number 8. Marcellus Brown, Ahmad Abdin on the heavyweight explosion card from Caesars Tahoe. And there has been some explosives on this card with knockouts scored by Savarese. Oh, some good shots
yeah,
by
he hurt Brown there, and Brown's legs are quivering.
I think if Brown goes down, Bob, I don't think we'll see him getting up, because that's a long way for him to fall.
When he goes down in sections. But give him credit here, because he's been bleeding from the nose and mouth from the 3rd round, and he's done his best to finish this fight and give a good account of himself, even probably in a losing attempt.
Inside 30, round number 8, Marcellus Brown trying to still flurry just a little bit, but most of those punches have been picked off pretty nicely by Abdin, which I think we might have underestimated his defensive capabilities.
He's a good defensive fighter when he keeps his hands up, and he's also demonstrated a real good chin.
Yeah.
Which is a credit to his Kurdish background.
13-0.
Oh, and there he
big
goes.
shots
Finishes
by
with big punches.
Abdin going out in style. Well, a nice effort by both fighters. Brown, the long, lanky one from Benton Harbor, Michigan, with a nose bloodied by about the 3rd round on. And Ahmad Abdin is the gentleman who put the pressure on, and according to our scorecard, almost a shutout, just about.
Well, both guys had their moments in the fight, but I think no doubt about it that Abdin did more and was more willing, and it's a good shot for him here. A good, solid 8-round fight on the heavyweight explosion. Nice international exposure.
Action.
And here we see him here, uppercut,
Little exclamation
right
point
hand,
there.
left hook.
Yeah.
Real strong finish to a good 8-round performance by Ahmad Abdin.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous decision. Bert Clements scores about 79-73. Keith McDonald scores about 79-73. And Doug Tucker scores about 80-72. The winner, Ahmad Abdin.
All right, that'll do it for Heavyweight Explosion. For Bob Spagnola, I'm Humile. So long from Caesars Tahoe in Lake Tahoe, Nevada.
feel, son? I'm here with Ahmad Abdin after a nice 8-round performance against Marcellus Brown. How do you feel?
I feel good. It was a good fight for me. First time I go 8th round. I trained hard for it.
Yeah, you were up here for 3 weeks ahead of time working with Lou Savarese. I wanted to say hello to all our fans in the Middle East that are rooting for you on as you climb the heavyweight rankings.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I've been working hard with Lou Savarese all like 1 month. Training hard, running. It was good work for me.
This altitude didn't give you any problems?
Not really. I got used to it. I've been here for 2 weeks. I got used to it, you know.
Okay, excellent work. Congratulations on a nice 8-round win.
Thank you very much.
Back to you.
Good work, good work, good work. Good job, good job. Another fight.